thing, and I was like, man, I wish I knew what she knew. You know, as if that was going to help me. And you know what? Ignorance is bliss. It's, thank God I didn't know from other people's experiences through listening to stories what it was going to be like, because they would have eaten me up. They were like, oh, so you think you know da 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 da. So,
okay.
you know, I'm going to get you like this.
I'm going to give us an intro because I'm recording. This is another Crates and Convo. I'm here with DJ Drea, and we're talking about the idea of house music and its age and how many, like from conception, venues, Studio 54, the Powerhouse, Power Plant, La Mirage, Sours. Some people call it Sours. I went and it was Sawyer's. These places are well over 30 years old or more. For those of us who were not in that age group at the time, who are trying to be torch carriers, we are still trying to be torch carriers. Those over 50 seemingly have isolated anyone who has not experienced that scene. So that, and Drea said before we started something to the effect of, you said, like, almost making you feel bad because you weren't there. Yep. It's a thing. It's like snobbery. Yeah. Oh, my God, you weren't at the power plant. You don't know anything about house. But guess what?
Not house.
Right. But guess what? The history is for people to learn. So either you're going to be a conveyor of the history and teach, or everything that you work for dies with you. So that, like, this, some of this is redundant to me. It's like you are so afraid that the youth are coming. We're coming. And, you know, I say we are lightly. But we're coming. And you're leaving. So in a minute, if you haven't conveyed any sentiments of your history to the youth and embrace them, your history is going to be lost.
But here's my thing. Are they really leaving? Maybe that's the point.
Are they what?
Are they really leaving? They don't want to give that up. That's why you promote parties that says, we're going to take you back to the...
Are they really leaving? Oh, they leave. They leaving by God. They're going to leave.
Well,
the Lord is going to take them out.
Right. You don't have any choice in that matter, right?
Right. Are they really leaving? But they're fighting to stay.
As far as,
they're fighting to stay relevant.
Like, right. Are they? They're not leaving in the sense of passing the torch. Oh, I don't need to do that. I did that back in blah, blah, blah. You know, been there, done that. So therefore, I'm going to open up avenues for new people to come in. That's what I mean. Like, they're like, no, this is my space. I'm standing here. And no, if you didn't have people sabotaging your sets or bringing in amps that were taller than me, then no, you can't be a part of this kind of thing. That's what I mean. And then the other thing too is, are they saying like that's the only legitimate music? Like from back then,
see,
like
and
the
that's
music that's now is not legitimate.
And that was one of the. It's been a common. It's been a sentiment, a standing sentiment for me for the last, since the Chosen Few for sure, this year, maybe right before, because the events leading up to it, I'm watching everything develop, and I'm going, they really don't want to embrace younger folks. My godfather is Little Louis, and it bothers me that Louis won't turn around and address Chicago. Now, he's had, major record deals with Sony, put out like 3 albums or so with them. He has a huge amount of accomplishments, and because it's new, it looks like he doesn't care. Now, of course, you move, you grow, you leave, and you go on with your life. From a historic standpoint, we have quite a few DJs. Glenn Underground, Vic Lavender. Vic probably won't admit to being influenced by Little Louis, because Little Louis has the same kind of vibe as God. I'm spacey right now. I can see him standing in front of me right now. I can't see his face. it's important too. I almost feel like I need to pull a record out so I can say his name. But anyway, jazzy, soulful, underground, melodic, Fingers Inc., right? That's one of his fathers. But they won't, Anthony Nicholson, Glenn Underground, Vic Lavender, and a few other people fall in a more down-tempo, melodic, like slower, sexier. That's a part of, to me, that's a part of what drew me to Little Louis. Not just like the club bangers, the French Kiss. That was a part of it when we were partying. But he had another side that was more like Fingers.
What about this love? Who made What About This Love?
That was Frankie Knuckles.
Oh.
But that's what
you mean. Like,
but it's a slower groove. And when you think about, Fingers Inc., because I can't remember his name, but those of you who know who Fingers Inc. is, you know who I'm talking about. He's still alive. He's still making music. He's still touring. He lives in Memphis. That's Lewis's, to me, that's one of the things that set Lewis apart, was that jazzy, soulful, down-tempo, sexy, energy. And we don't have a rapper.
Larry
Yes, Larry Heard. Thank you very much for looking it up. We don't have that. Like, we don't have someone who is rounding up people to, like the Chosen Few are even. But they're just like, we want to, like, capitalize off of a space that we started. Lewis didn't turn around and say, remember everybody who used to go to what's happening? How are you?
Well, I mean, has he?
I know that's right.
Has he not spoken on it, or just?
I think he's, and I appreciate the fact that he's. I started a box for you. I'm not certain. This is R.L. Breezy just stepped in the building. We're talking about house music beyond the 50-year. I should say behind the 50-year-olds, because it's a group of people who care about the culture, but we don't feel like we're being welcomed. Mm-hmm. Ostracized is the term. It feels like they're kind of self-containing because they want to live in that era and that period. Mm-hmm. And if you weren't a part of that, then you ain't house. Okay. Do we want to be house? That's a question. Do I want to be house? I can't be house because I like other things. Yeah.
Right, we mentioned that before some time ago. I play about how I feel.
See, and this is the thing that you said. When Ron played, it just wasn't house that he was playing. He was playing like punk out music. He was playing like 80s, kind of corny, Mesopotamia B-52s, things that weren't so housey. Right. So we're talking about pop, we're talking about R&B, we're talking about soul, we're talking about disco. That has nothing to do with what we consider current standards for house music. Mm-hmm. But they took all of that shit at the time and they created this genre by adding that the harder beat, yep, a little bit of the melodies or, sense from it. So we're doing, in my opinion, we're doing what they did, mm-hmm, by playing several genres. Maybe hip hop is prominent in your playing, but when you start hitting them soul, funk, jazz, disco, and mixing them together, Ron did that. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is while y'all trying to make it seem like Ron was so, or Frankie, even like songs, Frankie and that whole Spinners cut, the Spinners, mm-hmm, I'll Be Around, that shit is like 90, 95 BPMs. That's not like 120.
Right.
So when you say that, I'm saying that's soul.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're trying to push everybody, well, if you're not house, if you didn't do this, this, and this, we're honestly in the tradition of those founders.
Yep.
So by
more than anything,
more than they are, more than these people who are like, well, you got to play Love Can't Turn Around and Hit and Run, and you got to play Catch Me on the Rebound. Those are 3 of my favorites. But the idea that it's like, these are the standards, you're under 50. And then to add insult to injury, when you say that you play hip hop, you're completely dissolved.
Banned from the...
Yeah. And I'm going, if we're turning around looking at the youth and trying to figure out how to embrace younger audiences, we have to
include what's current to some degree.
Yeah, and see, this is where it gets real creative and cool if you're interested in creativity and coolness. Louis Vega comes along and he makes a remix of This Is America. So now everything that you're saying is a contradiction because Louis did it. But Louis over 50. And Louis knows who the Godfathers are. And, Larry Levan is like...
So who's to say that we don't pay homage to those individuals as well?
So, I know somebody in hip-hop, like somebody might be thinking, Africa Bambaataa and Red Alert and, the gods of hip-hop are isolating them. I don't think I see that. But maybe I'm not paying attention. You tell me. I don't know. I'm like, but I'm looking at this going for Chicago. It's like a.
But people do criticize. They be like, "That's not house." Like,
oh my God,
This Is America over. Like that's not house. People don't like that actually.
Well, I mean, when Louis.
But when I when I was at the Chelsea Few last year, I was like, but they're playing it. It's like almost like, well, aren't quote unquote, aren't they?
What does that mean?
The quote unquote the fathers, they're the people, so they're playing it. So does that make it okay? And it's like, so I don't know. So some people, I guess, are quote unquote make themselves or say that they're purists in a way, and so then it's a judgmental thing. It is because you're like saying mine. No, this is the boundary that we're going to be in. If you're outside of that, then you're not whatever I say that I am. Yeah. And that's not cool.
It's not cool at all to me. And I'm like, I don't want to.
It can be discouraging.
If a baby comes up to you and asks you, what is that? What is that? And you go, oh, get away from me. You too young. That is the meanest thing in the world you can do to a child.
You don't know nothing about
You just gonna crush the whole curiosity
of
a kid. Get your ass away from here. You don't need to know nothing about that. That's for grown folks.
What I hear, actually, when I hear even just as an example of this is America, and I'm like, all I need is the acapella. Who got the acapella? I put it on my own track. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's just open an avenue for me to be creative. Like when somebody played a Cardi B, I think it was a couple of years ago. I don't know if it was Dwayne Powell or it might have been Dwayne Powell at the Millennium thing.
Because Dwayne is definitely intentional about playing.
And I was like,
songs across the genres.
I'll just find an acapella version of it, and I'll make my own edit. I don't have to use the one that he. I don't need to be like, I need that. I was like, I just need the edit, and sure enough, I found like a Spanish version of Bodak Yellow, and then I put it over whatever the hell I want. And to me, that's it's making you right. You're showing creativity.
In your box.
That's a beautiful thing, not something to be like. Again, but like you said, but so and so can go and do it. And
okay, but so Dwayne Powell politically has. What is this shit? Put that in your box. Dwayne Powell politically has parlayed himself to his benefit in a way where they're seeing him too. So then there's the idea that if you are made. Mm-hmm. Then they acknowledge you. Yeah, that's so. It's not, and also because Dwayne is who he is in himself, meaning he is always. This might be worth it. He has always been like I like underground. I like this, and this. I play what I like. People respect him enough
Okay.
that he's gained their support.
Okay, so basically, this is just like somebody playing on a old school DJ playing on a controller
Yep.
and being given the pass to play on a controller because they played on turntables.
Yep.
But if you're a new DJ,
Yes.
you can't play on a controller because you didn't haul 10 crates in and subwoofers that were taller than me and all that kind of stuff. That's basically what we're saying.
Classic example.
That's basically what we're saying.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's the same thing.
Classic.
And I'm like, who has time to care?
Yeah.
Who has time to care? Who cares? You play it. I don't care. Okay, so everybody has their limits. I'm gonna play the shit. I'm gonna care if you play it on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody suggested I do that for the farmers market.
Okay.
I raised the stink on Facebook because I think the university I think they came up with someone to supply sound.
Nick something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was not happy about it. I was like, wait a minute. I want to do the farmers market, but for the rate. And excuse me for somebody's going to be like, she always talking about money. I don't give a damn what people think. Work it. For the rate, I'm like, oh, no. Y'all not going to have me bringing my joints out the house.
Initially, that's what she said at first.
Yes, she did. And I sent the email to someone and I said, the university doesn't have a budget for a PA. You know how many damn PAs are in the university for other purposes? They have all kind of speakers and topics and things where they have these. You can't find a PA for the DJs.
Yeah, and it was only going to be
It's
just
like
one
two-
set or one or two setups.
It's two sets a day.
2 sets a day, yep.
Yeah,
It's,
so one
it's a
setup-
morning. Yes,
Right,
one
one setup,
setup.
like-
One setup a day.
Yep.
Yeah, come on now.
One setup.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing? But no.
But that just shows, I know it's on another topic, but that just shows you that people only do what you let them get away with.
That's
if
right.
You don't bring,
Yeah.
If you
That's
don't ask
right.
questions about, so why are we doing this again? Then they won't do anything.
Oh, I raised a stank. So this dude pops up and he's more of a, there's a group of people, respectfully, because this is the hustle. So I'm an actor, but I think I should add DJing because it's a good way to get, it's a good way to get, make some paper on the side. I can brand all my other endeavors, blah, 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 blah. He pops up and he was like, just take your phone and a Bluetooth speaker. And I was like, and do what? He's like, just take your phone and a Bluetooth speaker and play a mix for your set. I said, I'm a DJ. I am a DJ. When somebody books me, I show up gear or I show up to gear and I DJ. Right. That shit you doing?
I couldn't even fathom just sitting there just doing it. I don't like to just sit down still for a long time.
You're a real DJ. Like, fuck all that other shit. I was so insulted. I was like, you know what? Get off. I want to tell him so bad to get off my page. Because we don't do that. We get paid to do what we're skilled at doing. Right. We're not paid to think shortcuts. Right. You're paid to think shortcuts because clearly it's not your, and I'm not saying you have to have one, but it's not your passion. Right. So that you suggest that somebody plugs up a phone. No, what I suggest you do is if you're going to say the word DJ, that you make it as realistic as possible to what I think DJing is. And I was so mad. I was mad, man. That post blew my mind. I was like, y'all, and all of these non-DJ people pop up and they're like, just get the money. Just take the money. Just stand there. I was like, dude, you gotta fucking be kidding me.
So there is no integrity.
And that's, I think that contributes to part of the reason why you have those situations, as you mentioned before, the purists.
Yeah.
And even when you like the house or just the ones who worked on turntables, you do have a collection of people who try to actually find these shortcuts and make money off of it.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that work. I get the work harder, work smarter. Work smarter, not harder.
But it's an implication that you don't have to have any skill. I mean, that's really that's the insulting.
That's insulting.
They have put the time in.
Yeah, I'm like, look, we stand in a room full of time in. Like, you gonna tell me to shrink my shit to the point? I'm like, well, if that was the case, then they could have just said, we just gonna go online and stream all of y'all mixes and not pay any of you. Why even do this? Just plug your Bluetooth up and find random DJ mixes.
Right.
He is just like, just go get the money. I'm like, oh, I can't have a conversation about intelligence with you because you clearly don't understand what being Then I got an opportunity to hear him DJ. We're not gonna say no names.
But then it was you understood why.
I was like, you should not even. And he's the first person to go live on Facebook, just hopping up and down for attention. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting, I listen, you can be on the outside without going in the room. Really? This is the reason why you don't care like we care. Yeah. Poor thing. But yeah, it's the elders against the youngers. I'm not gonna hate on you for am I gonna hate? I might have an opinion based on the idea that you might do things differently than I, but it's your shit. I'm not gonna hate in a generation because you did that. I don't have that kind of time. Who got that energy? But what I will do is,
you still should have standards though. That's the thing. Like even if it's like always saying is be open to new things, right? The technology, the new ideas, the new ways to do stuff. But still hold me to the standard of quality, right? I still should have skill, integrity in my work, quality in my work. Like that's the principles we still want you to live by. Right. It's pretty much.
But these people
it gets skewed sometimes.
These people may not have principles because they don't have mentors, or maybe they don't have.
I'm saying the older generation, like that's all. I think if it was coming at it in that way. Right. We're not going to hate on you because you're using new technology and you're mixing hip-hop songs on house beats and all this kind of stuff. We're not going to hate on you because of that. However, we do demand of you, if you're going to be representing this thing, right, that we've put all this time and energy and effort in curating and building up and all that, then we do expect this, though. These things are must.
The must,
right? I agree with standards.
And so then when people are falling off or not following the standards or don't even have standards or integrity in themselves, I think that's what causes some of the backlash because they just connect the two.
Right.
And so I think, if you keep it separate, you can just be like, no, you're not. It's quote unquote. I know, it's a judgmental thing. I'm not gonna say you can't DJ. You're not a dope DJ because you use a controller. I'm gonna say because you're violating whatever some principle that should be as a professional that's kind of thing.
Right.
That's the kind of way we should be looking at it.
But then someone might say to what I've always felt for myself, and it's an insecurity, but I'll admit to it because I'm human, would be if I was going to demand anybody to have something, then I would have to have some kind of I would think to have an organization or something and actually set up something so that they realize this is why we created it. Mm-hmm. So that you go, well, they do have a set of standards. They do have a ideology that you can reference in some capacity. Mm-hmm. So it gives you some kind of. Some people are just rebellious. I ain't thinking about none of y'all. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, and that's fine too. That's what they're making us want to do because they're not embracing.
Right.
But then it's like, you know, and more than anything today, especially, what you're gonna get love, and I was saying this to myself probably like even 6 years ago silently, because as much as I love dance music, I love all of the genres that went into making it, and that's where I come from, danceable R&B, and George Benson, and you know, the feeling of disco pre-house. Because most of the songs like Dr. Buzzard Savannah Band, that wasn't considered a house song until somebody started calling house music, but it was being played and danced to. My point is, I have more love and respect for open format DJs than ever before, to the point that I'm just going to start blasting, because we are underappreciated. The glue for your whole motherfucking week is based on us. While y'all battling to get 1 or 2 gigs a month to play for like an hour and a half, we're out here bringing all these genres together and working them. We're underappreciated. Oh my God. Well, all y'all only play twice a month. I should be giving my new house music and my new underground hip hop to these cats who work the streets at least once a week. Because they are more likely to figure out how to fit that in and expose it to people who are diverse. Yeah. So I'm like, y'all shooting yourselves. Because if I'm a torch carrier, we are torch carriers. Fuck what they say. And how they disrespect or whatever. We're torch carriers. And I play Catch Me on the Rebound and then play some current shit on top of it. Those younger people are getting... I would have never, that's my mother's, she just played that with blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. You not doing that shit. So that's my next thing. Like, I got all these memes that I just threw out last week that was like, because I had a moment and I was just like, I'm about to meme out because I can't. So I memed that. That's going to be my next shit. Like, you don't even realize how much an open format DJ is the glue every day. And everybody's going, either you just all hip hop or you all house. And I'm like, please, you can't.
You're limiting yourself.
Yeah. That's my point. I'm like,
you didn't grow up in a household where they only played. I got exposed to everything.
I sure did too.
And I would say, actually, the thing that helped grow me musically was my mother would send me away every summer to Charleston, Missouri, and down there is country, rock, pop. So that's where that part of me grew. And then I remember going to visit my grandmother and my other grandmother in Decatur, Illinois. And around this time, the tape must have just came out, but it was Barbra Streisand and the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
Guilty. Oh my God! I play that song over
That's a stepper's cut.
That is I love me some Barbra Streisand, and this is why I love. Yes, and it's like, why is she listening to that? But that was
Yeah, same for me. So from my grandmother who grew up listening to blues and gospel. My mother, listened to dance and also R&B. And then the old heads out there, they listen to some funk. So I'm hearing them in all these different places all the time, and you're stuck.
Yeah, exactly. It made you who you are.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like, if that's what built you, how could you not put it out? Like, how could you not get it out of you? You got to get it out of you in some way, form, or fashion. Whether it's through musicianship or you expressing yourself in this way, or you're writing or something, right? You got to get it out of you, and so yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of time to I'm at this point right now, especially with everything else. I'm just like, we ain't about to explain everything to you, especially when you intentionally said you too young for this without any introduction. Hi, little boy. This is Super Rap. It's got some really cool MCs, underground, Bahamadia, Mos Def, DJ Spinner. This is 1990s at its finest. You're too young.
You know what's funny though? just as we're talking about the influences of us, that the younger generation are having the same thing, right?
I'm not hating
Their parents are listening to stuff that they're hearing. Their friends are hearing. When I was DJing in Champaign, and I would do these frat parties, you know, these white kids. I'm thinking, they just go in there and have some pop music or whatever. I totally stereotyped them. I know I did. When they get to the party, they want to hear hip hop, blah blah blah, all this. But then they want to hear Sweet Caroline, and I was like, "What are you even born? What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Whose YouTube channel are you?" So on one hand, I was just like taken aback, like shocked, like what? But then on the other hand, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you'd be
How's that
surprised.
any different than me being exposed to some Al Jarreau? Like, who's
Yep.
listening to Al Jarreau at 12? Like,
You just got to be ready for them. That's the hard part, because sometimes sensitivity wise, I don't. It's becoming in the right element. It's hard for me to play so much of it, like 2 hours, 3 hours tops.
so much of what?
Their stuff to grab their attention. That's what we talked about this before. It's like I would have to give you so much, and then filter in just a little bit of something, unless, of course, depending on the space, because you again, those spaces where diversity live, you could play.
Right.
Wait by Yin Yang and then turn around and play Sweet Caroline. And they go in.
Right.
Not our people. To me, like, you play Sweet Caroline at Renaissance.
You're going to clear the dance floor. So
Not only you going to clear the dance floor.
Might throw a drink at you too.
You going to clear the dance floor, and then this little short dude that looked like a milk dud is going to be like, what are you doing? What is this shit? That's what you're At one point, he didn't even like dance hall to be played at Tantrum. Because he didn't like it. He would be like, try to stay away from all that reggae. I'm like, that's the savior. If we got to play a bunch of, like not my selection of hip hop. That's the savior. Like, I'm about to play Heads High about 1,000 times. Right. All the 90s. Fly reggae beats, but
That's interesting.
Amazing. We'll have these conversations till I'm blue in the face, but the bottom line is always the same.
You have to keep pushing. You just have to keep doing it and making space for yourself, finding space to create.
Yeah, because
you can't wait for people.
That's the hard part, because then there's the you can't hide from yourself. Let's do some of these. These are the ones that make me nervous to give anybody.
When does the market stuff? Did it start already, or it's gonna start?
It started in early June. Actually, it was supposed to perform past Thursday. It rained so bad. The guy Nicky texted and said, "You know what? I'm not bringing my equipment out there."
Okay. I'm laughing because then there's that. Then there's the idea that you risk one of your streams of income for this opportunity, and your shit gets wet. Luckily, they canceled the event that you were doing, because even imagine tiptoeing to the event. You may not have a waterproof backpack, and that rain that we had earlier, that was a beater.
Yeah.
I was in it. I was like, "Woo! I'm so glad I got a rain, and I don't care about this hair."
And by that time too, every vendor left except for like 2 of them there too. So even if you did bring your stuff, it wouldn't even make sense. No one's going to come out there, especially like how it was raining. It was like really gushing down. What was that, Thursday?
See, and that's
it was raining on my way to work. And when I got out, it was all clear and stuff. I think I got like a 1250 Yeah, so by that time I was in Glen Ellen though, but still it rained all the way.
Right, I saw that band coming through of rain on the phone.
You like Screech?
Yeah, from about 8 to about 11 o'clock around there, it was coming down.
Did you make it to the block party yesterday?
I stopped by. My wife wanted to see that. Who's that guy? He's from Texas.
Not Master Ace. Oops, I'm thinking the wrong way. Go ahead.
Trey, I don't know, something like that. She wanted to stop by and see him. You know, we're not too far from there, so we stopped by the whole family to see him. He was supposed to perform, I believe, at 7:30. He didn't perform until about 8:40 something. You know, it's not the first time around that they had sound issues there. 2 years ago, I actually had a set there, and the sound went bad on us. Childhood friend of mine too. He had a set later that same day when I was there performing. They had sound problems, and so that's been an ongoing thing. And one of Scott, he mentioned that they had that issue last year. I wasn't there last year, but constant sound issues. I don't know if they're using the same crew. Yeah.
So,
and especially for a turnout that they bring out every year.
I applaud Eric for doing what he's doing. Now that they've both happened, I think having one was smarter to do, and it doesn't appeal to everybody because you got people who are just like don't want to hear all the same music. The smartest thing in the world that they could do was what they did for the Brewfest, was to have those speakers in remote locations, but the sound coming from one source. I know that they're trying to appeal to a bunch of different people. That's why they got all the sites and stuff like that. But some of it seems like I felt like I watched a bunch of streams yesterday, and you know everybody got an opinion, so I'm not gonna feel bad. I feel like sometimes you can do too much, and you can't if you don't have enough of a staff to be able to
pull that off, right?
Engineer every location or bigger locations, then you might not want to do all of that. It's a tall order. Like, I applaud him because every year since he started doing it in Wicker Park, it's gotten bigger and bigger. The roller rink, right, like in the back of the bank. I was like, man, that's some dope shit to have out in the middle of the urban setting for black folks to just come and like experience a roller rink in the middle in the summertime, roller rinking outside in the parking lot. I thought that was the dopest shit ever. It made me smile. But it's a lot to do, and of course you're gonna drop balls and stuff. So I can't really, I can't say that it's always gonna be. See, I don't have my little turntable to be able to listen to some of this stuff to be able to tell you what these types of things I hardly take chances on stacking great with, but it's a tall order, and I mean you can't please everybody, and I think that's hard. That's hard because he's gonna go back and feel sensitive. And, I saw people critiquing on Facebook. And I was just like... It's always be the case, though. It's always going to be. And it's like, where do you shut off? How do you shut off and not take in the energy? And you have to have a tough skin. You got to be like, oh, I don't give a fuck what these people think about me. I got, these going on and this thing is going on. So you can't really, play too much in them. But I'm just like, it's a lot to... Or my only thing, and I said this a few times before, is just the fact that I don't like that the home team gets rolled on. I'm like, it's too many of us who pretty much foundationalized the entire event. He foundationalized the entire event on the back of local DJs. For local DJs not to get any type of compensation, and then for them to step the game up and have these out of towners and stuff come in and not. And I can't say that I'm sure that he's not offering some people. I think the people who play in the store, his store, probably got compensated. I think the people who were in remote locations at other people's store were volunteering. And I'm just like, at this point, we need to, either you stand up and say, and I think that's part of the reason why Dwayne wasn't on the bill this year, because Dwayne has gotten some really good opportunities, and now he's at that point where he's like, well, this is my time. So I could take the L today, because, he at one point he was rolling with Eric relatively frequently. But when I saw him pop up and say he wasn't on the list, I was like, because Dwayne is at that point. He's like, I'm going to support, but from the standpoint of just coming through and doing it because I love Eric, been there, done that. So, but I like the fact that everybody else was super excited about it. Like, yay, Eric, and I just think my friends, all of these people who said that they love DJs in any capacity, I would like for them specifically to step back and be like,
keep that going all year round.
Yeah, but also be more inquisitive about how this thing is working for us. Because if you came into, just say you go to your local restaurant and you like, ooh, my friends work here. I eat here all the time. Until your friend tells you about her trials, you're ignorant. So you're going to show up and eat and eat and eat. When your friends say, girl, I don't get paid to do this, then it might change how you feel about supporting. And I'm not trying to change. I'm just thinking that if these people knew, then one or two things would happen. Maybe they would donate. We want to make sure, and we could be specific. Let me get a check. I'll do it. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm saying it on the record. Let me get a sizable check. I'm going to come back and say, Eric, we know you're not paying the locals. I'm not going to give it to you. You know why? Because you already have sponsorship. And for some strange reason, you haven't decided to create a budget for the locals. I'm going to pay the locals, and it's going to be my contribution to the block party. So if I came up with $5,000 and I just said, you have remote DJs, you have 4 stations, and you got like 6 DJs playing, I'm going to make sure that those DJs get a comparable, something comprehensive pay. Because the morale needs to be boosted. I mean, he's got people working you see it popping up all on the internet, like all day. People, DJs last week was like, where's the lineup? We waiting for the lineup. And I'm going, hey, roaring for the lineup. Because they just don't have anywhere else to work and they want to be a part of it. Yeah. I'm saying compensate the ones who continually show up and do it for free, and it might raise the morale. That's me with no check. but ideally, that's what I would want to contribute. I want to be like, yeah, like, because now these people are going to go to bat for you for real. They've been warring for you without any acknowledgement. Right. You take them up a notch. Like, wow, we got paid this year. We about to go to pay me. And I'm going to walk up and down the internet every day, all day. Morale boost. I think, if you're intentional in that way. But if you don't have to, like, this capitalism. Donald Trump said you want to show up to work and you want to vacuum and stuff and you don't want nothing for it. What am I was doing? So he can't. you know, again, you can't blame somebody for me offering. Wow, that would be really cool of you. Thank you very much. Now, if I said...
So then, okay, but... So then you like, we created a union. We want to get paid. And they're like, oh, okay. And then you had the union busters come through. Like,
the union...
You know what I'm saying? Like,
look at the history of Chicago and the union. That's some real shit.
I'm saying, yeah, like, so we got together and we thought, blah, blah, blah.
They
like,
had something going on. They had a little something
somebody else
going
be like, yo, we'll do it. We'll do it for free.
Yep. It's always gonna be somebody.
Right?
There's always gonna be somebody walking across the picket line.
Right. Always somebody walking across the picket line.
But I'm like, if you outnumbered, look, then we have to get some kneecap action working. That's when it gets real. That's mafia shit. You roll up on somebody and be like, you cross this motherfucker, we gonna shoot you.
Yeah, that's...
Trust me. Jazzy, soulful, down tempo, newer Donald Byrdish. You'll dig it. Yeah, I can't imagine. No. I want everybody to win in the deep of my heart, because I know that if you win, if you get dope ass opportunities, it's gonna take your confidence up another. Yeah. It's like we made another. You made another. He made another. We gonna get it. I want that for everybody. So then I don't have to worry. I don't want to be insulted when I walk in places and ask people to fill out questionnaires. They're like, who the fuck you think you are? Well, all of the DJs came in and said that. So that must be the standard.
Right.
Oh, we were look, we didn't know. We were unaware of the standard.
Yeah.
Show us the way. And then you get a job being a director or a representative for those DJs. You deserve it.
I got asked to do this private gig, and when I gave people my price, the person who was hiring me, she was like, oh wow, I didn't know DJs ask for that. And I was like, actually, I think Glam Escort is not even on the high end.
No,
but
it's amazing when you do that.
But when you ask DJs have to bring equipment out to play,
then we talking some pow pang.
It costs.
Okay, so look, this is the conversation I had earlier, and of course I had to reference you because we had this dialogue in the inbox. So I went to Tammy about the tops at the Hyde.
Right.
And so she was like, oh, okay, I'm calling Maury Maldonado. You know who he is because you rented from him. And so she called him, and you know, he went in, and they've had a few sound guys, right? I'm not sure if their sound guys were bringing out equipment or just a board. Not to say that a board ain't equipment, but were they just bringing the board and using everything in the house and engineering from the house, or were they bringing like other gear in?
So from my knowledge, this stuff that already exists there that they already own. So the sound guy would come in and probably play around with the board to see how you can configure those things. But that's already baked in. But when you have the bands come in, especially Angela Fields, her sound guy brings in 2 speakers, his soundboard, and they connect from there.
So they don't use anything in the house at all?
Nope, not at all.
So Mari pops up and calls me today, and he's like, I appreciate him because most people don't call you like that. Mm-hmm. They go, well, they tried to fuck Fathom, and they did this to so-and-so, and they did this to Vic Lavender, so fuck them. So he hit me today. It's an emergency. I thought somebody had died on the scene or something. I was ready to, I was just like, I'm scared to pick up the phone because I'm like, so he's like, I just wanted to see what they was doing with you up at the Hyde, because, you know what I'm saying, I need to know, you know, what I got to do to get my money and shit. So I was like, I haven't had any challenges with them financially. And he was like, because, you know, everybody told me that they was trying to fuck you over. I said, who are these people? Who are these people? Of course, he wasn't giving no names. But he was just like, I wanted to talk to you to make sure that the way they was treating you was on point because, you know, I'm trying to do business. So he's bringing tops and accommodating. I don't know how many times of the week that he's doing that. You playing there tomorrow?
I don't know. It depends on how I feel, to be honest.
Wait.
I told you from that the experience with the sound system. If that's not up to par, I don't see myself doing it. But I mean, if the gentleman you spoke of would have something set to go, that's a different.
So that's I was assuming that you were just gonna be there. Mm-hmm. Well, you shouldn't just be there. Back up. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't just be there if you're gonna have problems with the sound. So the question is, are you going to communicate with them in advance?
What problems have you had?
So,
he just has sound problems.
That, like, you can't, the booth is way up high. Like
it's a small space. It's a small space. I actually don't mind it being up high like that.
Yeah. My issue is where the monitors are.
Right, you have one right above you.
They're not monitors, actually.
No, it's used as a monitor in a sense there.
There are speakers in the room.
Speakers.
Right.
Throughout the room, and the sub is below you.
Right.
So that's getting like, you barely got it in your room.
No, I've been there. I know the space. Yeah. So you just haven't been, like, it's been
the sound. It's like the last 3 weeks has been the sound system. So, last week I was there, they still had the sound issue. I thought it was taken care of.
Okay. Because
I had asked them before, I got there. They said, oh yeah, this works great. And they brought this little studio mixer, 2-channel mixer there. And when I saw this setup, I'm like, oh my goodness, this can't work. So they was using, not the, the 1/4-inch inputs. They were using the RCA inputs. And with those little mixers there, it's not designed for like your subwoofer, your mids, lows, and highs. It's designed for like just a simple audio input from a phone. And so I played the sound. Like, what the heck is this here? That's not gonna work. So I played a set and I just I'm gonna go ahead and stop. And,
now so what did you plugged your controller? Or
yeah,
you had
I bring my controller.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you plugged that into it and it just wasn't powerful enough?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then that sound kind of came back again. So none of this. We talked about the other sound guys there too. I'm no expert at sound and editing, but I know some basic stuff.
Right.
To work. And it's like either whoever was here, they just turn up all these levels and just banging it throughout the night. Because it's very uncommon for all 6 speakers to go out. And I know that. Typically one when they go out.
You really fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like staticky, clipping?
The lows, the subs were working fairly well. I think the mids were out. And I can't remember which other set was out. They were just out. Mm. You would think that you're playing with low pass filters and whatnot the whole way through. Mm-hmm. And I discovered that about a month ago, where the bartender, he plugged his phone up into the system, and I came in, I was hearing it. I'm like, okay, maybe because he's plugging in with a simple audio jack. And he said, man, it doesn't sound good. So I'm listening. I said, man, you're right. I said, you know what? Let me just check my system. So I tried different ways to try to go into it. I'm like, man, this is bad. The good thing, there was bands were the highlights for the night. So
you worked around it.
Thing, yeah. So
anybody like the Black Eyed Peas?
They're nice.
Enough? It's a remix. Shut up. Every time I think of that song, I think about Whitney Houston. Jesus.
So there was an issue, and one of Rocky's guys, he asked him to go just bring the speaker. So I played through the speaker. nice speakers, so it plays sound throughout that smaller space. So they worked out. The following week, I didn't attend. I had a funeral to attend, and I had asked my how's the sound going, and said, man, it's just still bad. And then that's why I reached out to her. Said, did you know anything about the speaker system? Because the last week we went again.
I was like, I don't even know how he's gonna receive this because I had to edit. I was like, I ain't bringing shit. I wanted to say I ain't bringing shit. I'm like,
bring all of that other stuff.
no, you shouldn't. And I mean, again, and you know, I'm hot. That's one of them tunes that I was telling What's Her Face about earlier. We Thuggin', Fat Joe.
Mm-hmm. That's the jam right there. We Thuggin', rolling on.
Right.
The early 2000s. Right
Yes. Blackberry Molasses. Y'all remember that? See, I'm in your crate. I was like, ain't nobody about to bring no tops up in here. Blah, blah, blah. That's not, no, we're not doing that. What we gonna either do is they gonna fix it, or we not gonna show up.
That's pretty much. I mean, it's, and you know, the average person is fine. And they're vibe with it. But I can't do that. I want them to get the full experience. You know, when I actually put down my high pass filters and whatnot to mix it to another song.
I hate that we look like the villains if the sound ain't right. If the sound ain't right at the end of the night.
If you're gonna have a venue,
yes.
if you're gonna be having those type of events, you need to be consulting people that can help you have the infrastructure to support them.
Okay, so and that's real. So here's the other side. I went in and I put in decent subs, I put in decent tops, and one of y'all motherfuckers blew them. Every time I bring my, I'm gonna give you the other side of the scenario. Every time I have an engineer on staff, we put a lot of money into repairing subs, and every time I do it, one of y'all, I'm just giving you the narrative. Okay, one of y'all motherfuckers blew it.
So here's the response to that. Somebody needs to be responsible for going through, doing whatever kind of system check you have to do after the DJ leaves. If they damage the equipment, they have to pay for it. And then you have to put up a sign. Please do not turn your master past 2:00. Whatever the heck you got to do to say, you know, or you got to hire a sound guy that's there putting the ceiling on so you can't blast them. I mean, there's solutions to this.
And I mean,
I agree. Look, I agree.
You just don't leave it broken.
I agree.
It's something you get paid for consulting in that sense. There.
No, and you should. So and that's the reason why you have a music director,
right, or
somebody in the middle who creates that. Tantrum for me, and even with that, I'm like, because at one point we had a staff of DJs, and everybody had a day of the week. Mm-hmm. There was everything was on the clock. Saturday, Fathom will be here at 9. INC comes in at 12 every week. Mm-hmm. Then they started entertaining promoters, so we had an understanding.
Right.
We knew the mixers. We knew, all the equipment. We knew how, occasionally Sean would come back and fuck with the house system. Mm-hmm. And, some INC would have to come in and fix it because it was jacked up. But everybody was accountable. So you're right about staffing. Once we broke the seal on that and they started bringing in promoters and people like that, everything fell to the wayside. So, yeah, and I feel like as commandeering, you don't get to come up in my space and not learn the ways of the space. You're not just going to come in and plug crap, especially because I have somebody who I have to answer to for this. So, yeah, you need to have a guard in place. And then you just, of course, this is shit. Of course, you have somebody who speaks the language enough to always maintain it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not certain. You gotta have a copy of that. I'm not certain that some owners are looking at it the same way. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to do all this. I just want rent. Fill this bar up, low cost, get people in here, Pay me my money.
You gotta look at the
Sound?
big picture.
You talking about
gotta look at the
tops?
big picture.
You talking about tops being raggedy? I don't give a fuck if these people don't care about tops. Get my money.
So here's the thing. So the person who's booking the DJ talent, so they can't go back to say the system is not right, so the DJ is not coming, because then what they're going to do is say, well, some DJ come. Right? It's the undercutting. Then you open yourself up to the undercutting thing. That we
Well,
were just
no,
talking about.
see, because if
So
you
we
have,
don't have to fix the system because somebody is coming.
yeah, some raggedy motherfucker. No,
You're
no.
gonna lose-
Some
obviously
raggedy,
lose the quality, but you're gonna lose people.
some raggedy person is gonna come in there and make beautiful mess out of what you turned away, and that's the risk that we take.
Yeah.
Leaving. But if they were interested in circumventing, if they were interested in creating those spaces, like we have a sound engineer, he is on staff every time we entertain a DJ.
Right.
That's money, right? Because you got to pay him to be there. But if you really trying to set a precedence,
You would make that investment.
yeah, you would make that investment. I know that. What's his face? What's dude's name?
Rocky,
Not him. The other one.
the owner.
He's I can't remember. He's got a foreign name.
He always wears a hat, right? The Nike hat. I can't think of his name. I think I know what you're talking about. He's the owner.
These people don't really care about this shit the way we care about it. They like, I want my money. Oh my God! Did you just say we have to get this fixed again? I'm trying to make money. I'm not trying to fix everything every time somebody come in with their non-equipment on, just
That's why
popping
you
and turning
set
up.
the stage from the get-go.
It's but the hard part is it's just like maintenance. So like in the daytime when you turn when the lights are on and you start looking at your furniture and seeing how people got teeth in their booties, that's what we call them. When the seats start getting worn or what have you, you take an account of that. But because of the fact that this is your responsibility, I got to shut the place down.
Maybe not enough promoters of
Faking
the
Jack.
DJ talent aren't telling them that.
Okay,
aren't
communication.
complaining
Right, saying
enough.
enough, right.
Communication.
Enough of them need to be coming back with the same complaint, so then they'll see it's a priority, that it's something they actually need to take care of.
Communication and having those. Ooh.
If you come in and saying, I da 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 da, and then on her night she coming and saying, yo, the system is da da da. I mean, how many times does this need to get back to the person in charge? But then they're like, okay, I think we need to do something about it.
Yeah, I'm actually curious how many nights a week they hire DJs. I know for sure it's Saturdays and Fridays. I've been using one of each of those days.
See, and then they got music being piped in and out from the other sides.
Right.
From that, what's the starfish? What's the name of the bluefish, starfish, greenfish? Pork chop, blue soup, all of them spaces. They had a DJ, when I was there one Thursday night, they had a DJ in the bluefish room.
He offered that to me too, but they have to be in their own system.
And oh my Lord. And the sound, we got a live band. The sound is coming, they're not monitoring them to say, we got another party, let's turn it down a little bit. Okay. The sound is just bleeding through
In
to
the
this.
restaurant that's next door to you?
Yeah. They was banging it out.
Yeah, he
While the party is going on in the Hive?
Yes.
So they got something coming up with Killer Mike. For
Yes, that's
podcast,
tonight.
And they supposed to have a DJ in 2 different rooms.
Yep, I saw that. That's one of Tammy's
So
things.
that's tonight.
This is double copies for that other yeah.
So I'm curious how that's going to look if that system hasn't been taken care of as of now.
Is the Jedi going to be nosy?
I may stop by. Who
Yeah.
knows? Just to see. And that can kind
When
of.
I saw it, I was like, they probably gonna play. This place is probably gonna do what it's supposed to do because it's Killer Mike. That's unfair. I want everybody to feel like that celebrity, superstar person, or DJ when they come into the space. Bam! Everything is
So
always.
the question is, will they even be using the house system? They could just be
I'm sure they probably
bringing
won't.
everything in.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They probably won't.
Right,
You keep
because
that
you
in
know
mind.
if he make noise, then it's gonna be a issue.
Right.
Or maybe we need him to make noise, then they'll fix it. I don't know. Like which one? Which one is better?
Well, you know, I heard saying, well, we're going to do this and do that there.
Like every time I say woo, I couldn't imagine that they don't, not for Killer Mike. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be different. It shouldn't be different. You shouldn't. I don't want to feel less. I don't want you to feel less about going into your space and not getting the quality that you should have for your performance. And of course, so INC is doing all this. So Dre is on Friday night. Dre is gonna call him and say, I had it was like a little clip and I couldn't figure out what to do. INC's job is to come in, set up his laptop, figure it out, so that everybody else going forward, communicating and stuff like that, is to keep the owners, if necessary, because the middleman is a real thing. Keep the owners from having to be all frustrated and figuring stuff out. So INC's job is then to go and tell the owners, man, we got to get such and such in here because yada, yada, yada. But you just got to,
But even with
again, somebody is like, I'm not trying to put out fires for these. This is DJ stuff. This is, the people who come to somebody is saying this.
Then somebody needs to be combating that. I'm not sure if you got soul food. But if you this is what you got to do. It's part of the. You need to put that on the line, on the list of expenditures.
I've got it on the mic at some raggedy ass spots and been like, the sound in here is horrible. So if you have any challenges with, it's not my fault. I'm doing the best that I can with this raggedy shit. And if you want to blow somebody away, that's how you gonna get them. Because they gonna be like, you embarrassed us in front of our whole audience. Well, the sound is clipping. Mm-hmm. And people are complaining, we can't hear it in the back. What's wrong with the sound in the front?
But see, even as DJs, when we go out and do our mobile gigs, you always prepare for a meltdown somewhere. Maybe your laptop may go out and you may have something additional to kind of work that situation. They said the same thing, That's something I would have advised, but let's say if they're not going to compensate you for those parts there, they have to kind of figure that out. That's just how it is. But have two set of speakers that you can utilize. That's a small space. You can put two tens in there and it'll do well, But at least have that while you're working on those different parts, you take care of it, Any successful business have a backup. Think about power goes out. They have a generator. Yep. Some of those sort of things there. Those things need to be in practice,
I agree. And budgets say you just...
So the question is, who's letting them know that this is something you need to take care of?
Man, because...
And then being serious and accepting that it's a serious enough thing to take care of.
I'm wondering if I was the only DJ that actually talked to him about it. Okay. I'm curious. I don't know.
I would assume that. I would assume
because I know the bands come in, they bring their own stuff, so
yeah,
it would never be an issue for them.
Honestly, I think that's part of the reason why they would prefer it. Mm-hmm. A live band, because they bring in their own amps, they bring in their own whatever. We don't necessarily have to worry about that.
And they spend a lot of extra money for that band too.
Do they spend a lot? Do they really? Well,
I don't know that figure, but bands you have quite a few people that you have to pay out.
Because I've seen people negotiate numbers that may not, $500 for a band ain't a lot. Mm-hmm. But on the other end, they're not paying us. Lean on Me Club Nouveau. I'm only shouting out things that you might be generally interested in. Lean on Me Club Nouveau.
Yes.
Boop. Mm-hmm. Your package is paid for. You good. Jay-Z in my lifetime.
I love Jigga.
I know. I knew that. I just wanted to, because I knew it.
Jay-Z.
I just want to love you. Ja Rule. Holla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holla. Right before his career went down.
Foxy Brown.
Wasn't he back in the news recently? Him and dude almost was
From-
from a fight or something?
Oh, from the fight, I thought you were talking about the that concert that he promoted.
The Fry Fest.
Yes,
Ooh, that was
he
hilarious.
was part of promotion.
Ja Rule?
Yes.
Okay. What did
He put his name on it.
The was it Fire or
It probably was
Fire
Fire.
Fest?
What is it? Is it on Netflix?
Yeah,
This
I
is,
don't know if it's still there,
A
but it
documentary
was.
that was on where this some guy,
Fabulous.
very, I guess he has some influence, and also was very risky too. So he put together this huge event and promoted on this island, and he told people, you buy this package here, this is what you get. You get the tents, you get the beds.
Oh my God,
And it was
that
a
shit
disaster.
That shit just
And
made
Ja
my
Rule was on it too, like he's going to be part of this particular concert.
Okay.
That made my head hurt.
Kind of like a Coachella.
That made my head hurt watching that because I was just like everything
It
on the
was a
internet.
disaster where, like, the first thing that happened was, they had planned for this stuff to be on the island at a specific time, loaded. When some people came, they had beds there, but it was all over the place. Tents were like crazy. I think it had rain down or something like that. They supposed to kind of till the land and everything and get it all set up.
Oh, it was hilarious.
It was basically like they stepped on a ghost island or something like that.
So his partner was a con artist, and he sold him the dream. And what they did is, and this is why it made my head hurt, because I know that we're getting tricked by social media every day, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody is
You get this
paying for
impression.
like $7,000, and they created this whole like vibe, and you just waiting for it to manifest, and all of a sudden it doesn't,
Right.
and you just have nobody to be held accountable for the money you spent or the vacation. And these white people actually went to they flew out on planes and stuff
It was crazy.
all the way over there, and they sleep in the stuff is soggy, and they got like plastic put up or whatever. You got to see it.
But then he got into almost a fight with Earth Gotti or something.
Then I don't know if I thought you were talking about that. You should check that out. It's
I always
definitely
get
interesting
into
to see.
they create rumbles.
So he got, sounds like,
Well, not necessarily him. He bailed out. He just put his, he has an influence,
And then he pops up again
his
talking
name
about
is
they
on it
really
to
gonna have a fight.
influence people that kind of want to go to the thing.
Yeah, like they had like
He was
what it was.
vouching for this
What it was
situation.
supposed to be was they were supposed to be creating this
New
agency, and
Right.
you could, and there was an app where you could go and like not have an actual agent. You get this app and download it, and you could book all these celebrities and stars and not have a middleman in the process. That was the app.
That was his ultimate goal. That was according to the
So they
documentary.
did this event to spin off and kind of create vibes and hype around the app, and give people like the concept of what this bigger grander scheme was.
Right.
It just made my head hurt. I was like, white folks could get you. Not that we couldn't do it, because we could do it. Sell people a dream and get their money, and I have to be real. But I was just like, these people are so